Hello all, and welcome to this Friday afternoon's beer review. I'm ready, man. I am so ready to go and drink beer after a week of abstention. And I'm going to dub this particular video the taxes done beer review because I just finished my taxes. Yeah, so I'm quite happy about that. Paid off some bills too. Got a decent refund, so all good. What are we reviewing today? Well, as you know, I tend to lean more towards the sessionable beers than anything else. And today's one is definitely the definition of sessionable. This is Maui Brewing Company's limited release, one of their seasonals, Shibata Rice Lager. So they've done rice lagers before, and I believe they've done this particular type of grain before. This is not the first release of the Shibata grain, but they've done it on multiple types of Japanese rice. And so let's read this a little quickly here. Japanese style dry rice lager brewed with hand toasted rice grown in Shibata, Japan. This is 4.0 ABV, so doesn't get much lighter than this unless you go into like the world of ultralights, or those English milds that you can't find in America because nobody wants to drink like a 3.2 beer. So yeah, I'm going to pour this into the Pilsner glass. And it is blustery. That's what you hear outside. It is very windy and very chilly. It's 4:30 in the afternoon, and it's 70 degrees Fahrenheit out. So yeah, perfect day for cold beer, isn't it? Well, let's get to this, shall we? Poured it right to the top there, eh? So, a very pale straw yellow, clear, nicely effervescent, with a fizzy to frothy white head. It smells of wet rock, floral hopping, and almost a base that kind of smells like rice cakes. Not like thick, chewy rice cakes, but those dry, puffy ones. Of rice lagers that I've had, this is like the first one that I've had where that's brewed using non-sake rice. It has a very distinct rice smell to it. It's basically kind of like the rice cakes, those puffy rice cakes. Okay, onto the palate now, shall we? Very light and refreshing. Hop bitterness in the front to mids that clears the palate. You're left with that sort of roasted rice note in the top note there in the long finish. But more or less clean on the palate. Fairly substantial flavor for this ABV, that is. Slight grassiness to the hops that blends well with that sort of roasted, puffed rice flavor in the malting. Well, on the palate, just a ever so slight sort of floralness and grassiness over that sort of room, and it doesn't look gross. It's very pale, but it does have like a kind of toasted rice character to it. So go probably very well with sushi or um, donburi. Yeah, excuse me. And at 4.0, you can have a few of these before you even start feeling it. So yeah, I kind of covered all the flavors. Like I said, not complex, but for such a light beer, there is a good amount of flavor here. Falls well within style guidelines for rice lager. Dry, but not absolutely bone dry. And very clean finish with refreshingness. Yeah. So if you find this, definitely give it a try. Um, you know, some people think they just had they just have experience with normal Japanese rice lagers, which are very thinly attenuated, very dry, not much flavor other than hot bitterness. This kind of goes to show you that that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. You can brew a rice lager that's got a sort of malt taste to it, while still remaining within those style guidelines. Shibata Rice Lager. Give it a shot. And that, folks, is your beer review for this Friday afternoon. Kanpai!